So you've got your first quadcopter and you're ready to fly, but you've got no idea how to do it. I'm going to see if I can help you in just the next couple of minutes to understand how to fly this thing, and we'll go from there. First of all, congratulations. It's an exciting adventure to learn to fly a quadcopter or any kind of micro drone, nano drone, drone, multi-rotor, all the different names that they're using for them these days. The one that I'm looking at today is called a TeenyDrone. It's like the CX-10, very similar in design, just a little bit more robust in the build. Your drone may look similar to this if you've got a nano drone, or it may be larger, but what I'm going to show you is going to basically apply to any of the quads that you're going to be flying. So that's the nice thing, because these controllers are quite universal. And with the TeenyDrone, the one that I'm flying today, you can see that it's more of a full-sized controller, so it's a little bit easier to demonstrate for you. So we're going to look at how the controller works, how to fly it. And one quick note, you are going to crash. As a new pilot, you're going to crash this bad boy. Doesn't matter which one you're flying today. Be ready for it. Try to make your landings as soft as possible. So that means, you know, fly in a carpeted room if you can't fly outdoors. It's really a lot more challenging to fly inside than out, because outside, if you accidentally shoot up really, really fast, you go up into the sky, and then you can gain control and bring it down safely, or land on grass or something soft like that. Hopefully not water, because they're not usually waterproof. But inside, of course, you're going to hit the roof, and that's going to cause all kinds of damage. So they are pretty durable these days. You'll find that you can crash, and they're not going to explode. They're not going to disintegrate or anything like that, but you do have to be careful. So if you crash a quadcopter, one of the main things that's going to happen is that your propellers are going to bend. And if they're good kind of rubber style propellers, you can bend those back fairly easily, and that's not a problem. Sometimes if you hit really hard, then a motor is going to stop working, or maybe an LED is going to stop flashing for you. And the temptation is to return it to the store, but that's not really, you know, that's not really what I would recommend. I think one of the fun things about being a quadcopter pilot is also being able to do your own repairs. With the TeenyDrone, for example, this is what they call a crash kit, and it comes with a new body, it comes with extra propellers, it comes with 4 motors, and those motors, you can actually solder those into your quadcopter, and then you're replacing the parts rather cheaply, and then you learn to correct the problems as well, because you are going to crash, guaranteed. Okay, so let's take a quick look at how this works. We're not going to get into too many technical things. I just want to show you how to fly this bad boy and get up in the air. So your controller has several main functions. This controller may look different than the one you're using depending on your quad, but as I say, the controls themselves are pretty much identical across the board. I've got a SEMA X5C-1 and it flies exactly the same as my TeenyDrone. So this is going to be applicable for you no matter what drone you're flying. So basically, this controller, the only thing that may be different is your buttons up here, but the controls themselves are going to be the same. On the TeenyDrone, this quadcopter, the Nano drone, this button here is your speed booster. So this sets you from regular kind of learn to fly mode to high speed mode, which we'll call expert mode, if you will. Expert mode should be left off indoors, at least as you're learning. It does take the quad up to very high speeds, so you want to do that outside. If you want to experiment, that would be a fun one to whiz around with outdoors as you're getting good at it. This button here is going to actually put you into roll mode, so you can push that and hit a direction at the same time, and it's going to roll in that direction, which is kind of cool. Nice way to woo your friends. Okay, this is the accelerator. So temptation is to push that up, and that would shoot me right into the roof. So the trick is that we want to just push that just a little tiny bit as we're flying indoors, and then you'll get the feel that a little bit more is going to bring you up a little bit less is going to bring you down, and you're going to have to keep your fingers on this and move it up and down depending on the situation, because as you move forward, of course, you're going to get some tilt to the quadcopter. You're going to be flying like that, and so then it's going to be, you know, you're going to have to accelerate a little bit more to keep it in the air. So it's a little bit of strategy, I guess. All right, so let's turn it on and see what happens here. Before I do that, actually, let's just let you know I would suggest, you know, your left controller here does go to the left and right. What that does is it takes your quad and it turns it like this. I would stay away from that at first. As you're learning, I would stick with just up, down here, and all around here. What that's going to do is it's going to allow you to go up and down and around in this kind of motion. By doing that, the quad is always facing away from you, and so up is forward, down is behind, is back, and right is right, left is left. Now, as soon as you start using this, so you're going left and right here, so you're pivoting the body. So as I pivot my quadcopter here, now left is toward me, right is away from me, up is left, and down is right. Now as I continue to push that, so I push this to the left a little bit more, now it's facing me. So up is toward me, down is away from me, right is left, and left is right. What kind of crazy world is this? We're working in 3 dimensions now, folks. It's not like the old race cars, right? So it's a lot of fun, but that takes some getting used to. So I would suggest that we stick with standard controls, up and down on the accelerator, and then all around here. Again, that's going to allow us to go up and down and around this way. So as I pull down, it's going to come toward me. As I push up, it's going to go away from me. That keeps things nice and simple. Let's fire it up and see what happens. So as I turn it on, my lights are flashing, and you hear a beep from your controller. Push accelerate all the way, and then down all the way. That syncs your controller to this quadcopter. That way, if you have 2 or 3 of them, you can race friends, you can play at the same time, and because they're 2.4 gigahertz, they're basically synced to each other. You can fly multiple at a time, and there's no frequency problems or interference, if you will. Okay, so now that I'm synced, and you'll notice one of the things that I did is I put it on a flat surface to do that. Now that I'm synced, I can start flying. Reason that I put it on a flat surface is because that trims out the drone. So it knows, okay, this is down, this is flat. So as I fly up, if there's a bit of a wind, the 6-axis gyro is going to keep it level for me. There are trim buttons on your controller. Modern drones, typically you don't necessarily need those. Certainly with the micro drones, the nano drones, with the 6-axis gyro anyways, they do a very good job of trimming themselves out right from your desk. So now that it's trimmed, now that I'm connected, now that it knows that, hey, this is dead flat, now I can take off. I could take off from an angle like that if I wanted to, and it would automatically level itself out. So now I can take off from anything. I can put it on a book, I can put it on the couch, I can put it on the floor, on whatever, and it'll take off just fine. So let's get a go. Now watch my hands as I fly, and I'll bring it up here so that you can see the TeenyDrone flying around as well. But watch my hands so that you see how subtle the movements are, and I think that's part of the key to flying indoors, is certainly being very subtle with your movements. Remember to keep yourself in slow mode. This one has 1 beep for slow, two or 3 beeps, 2 beeps for fast. So there we go. So now as I bring up my accelerator, watch what happens. I'm just bringing it up just a little bit. I've got 1 motor. Did you see that? 1 motor's not spinning. So just check your motors. Make sure that this one is not tight, because having a crash may have pushed the propeller down into the motor, and you don't want to accelerate in that case, because then you're going to burn out the motor and then you're going to have to replace it. Now that I've touched that, you can see that the propeller is spinning just fine. Okay, so up we go. Very subtle movement on my left controller is going to start to raise that up. Now I can use the right controller. See, I'm going up and down a little bit, and I'm using the right controller to pivot back, right, forward. I'll try to keep it on camera. So it's nice and smooth in slow mode when you're inside. You can hover fairly well. You've got to kind of adjust the controls to compensate for wind and things like that. I've got the furnace going right now, so it is picking up some of that. And there we have it. Okay, so rolls. It's one of the things that you're going to want to do. It's not easy to do indoors. You probably want to do it outside when you've got a lot more space, or at least in a big room. Maybe if you've got a cathedral ceiling, something like that, that would be preferable. So you want to get enough height, because it's going to lower itself as you do a roll. So let's get it up about, I'm about going to get about 3 feet off of the desk here. And make sure that you're stable. You don't want to do a roll when you're not stable. So now I'm going to push that roll button and push backward, and I did a flip. There we go. And you see how I had to gain control again after the flip because it just really pushed it. It runs up those motors really, really fast in that moment. There we go. Okay, so that's a basic tutorial on rolls. You're going to want to get good at flying, just hovering before you even attempt that because you're probably going to crash in that instance, and because the motors are flailing pretty fast at that point, you could damage the quad if you hit the wall or the roof. Again, if you bend your propeller, you can just bend it back. You can buy extra propellers. You can buy extra motors if you burn out a motor, and it's just 2 little solder joints to replace that, nice and easy. The LEDs are there for your reference, and it helps you to orientate yourself to know what's front, what's back. Also, looking at where the charge port is going to help you. But if an LED breaks, you don't have to go out and replace the LED right away. Maybe try pushing it or jiggling it, see if it starts to work again. So that's what I want you to start with. That's what I want you to try starting with. So we're going to get a little bit of acceleration. Are you watching my left hand? And then my right hand, I just want to get used to controlling going back, going forward, going back. Start with that, forward and back, and try to keep your height about the same level. Okay? And that's going to help you to get a little better at just controlling between the 2 controllers. And it is kind of in a 3D environment, which takes some getting used to. So then you want to, once you're at that point, then go left, right. And notice my left hand, I'm going up and down on the accelerator as I need to. Left and right. Okay. And then once you get a little better, then start going up, left, right, bring it back. All right. And then once you get to that point, that's when you can start doing rolls and doing stunts like that. And get good at that stuff. And then on the Drone Zone, which you'll find at thedronezone.tv, we're going to be doing a series featuring all different kinds of quadcopters and multi-rotors so that you can learn how to fly these guys, how to do some stunts. We're going to do some speed tests with a radar gun, see how fast they can go, all that kind of stuff. So go to thedronezone.tv. That's going to take you over to YouTube. And just make sure you subscribe to that channel or click subscribe right on this video. And please like the video if this has helped. And if you have any questions, post your comments and I will do my best to respond for you. In the meantime, enjoy flying. Let's see if I can... See, I've turned it around there. I've got a fairly limited amount of space here. But once you're good at it, have some fun. In the meantime, have fun learning. When you're orientated facing yourself, that's what we want to avoid doing. I can obviously do that, but once it's facing yourself, it makes it tough as you're just learning. But enjoy, have fun. Quadcopters are addictive. I guarantee you're going to find yourself wanting to start here and work your way up. I'm here to help you to do that and to understand the different quads that are available to you. And we're going to do so, we're going to try to do it kind of on the cheap so that we can work our way up to bigger, better drones as we grow as pilots. So hope you are able to subscribe and enjoy being a drone pilot. Take care. Thanks for watching.